I am back. Now, because this live stream is one of those live streams where you just freelance and just do whatever you need to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start out by again, thank you for joining. I'm going to put back Intergalactic Wranglers chat. Then what I'm going to do, I need to switch out the thumbnail. So I'm going to hide this and switch out the thumbnail. So we've had a situation with the channel, and I'm like, this is a video that I might unlist after the live stream is done. So we've had a situation with a channel that has been going on for months now. Okay. YouTube has been something that I've been wanting to do for several years. And last year, by June of last year, we were at about 300 subscribers. That's June 2024. By September, October of 2024, I decided that I was going to switch over into talking about news and politics and focus on the US elections, and also go back to finding historical content. I began to post historical content about Trump in late November. And by the 24th of December, one of those videos caused this channel to be monetized. I had crossed 1,000 subscribers. I think at the time I was at about 1,200 subscribers by the middle of December. And then that one video allowed the channel to hit 4,000 watch hours, exceed it, and it kept going. By middle of February, my channel was averaging 100,000 views a day. Now, that's like, I didn't know what to do with that with that success. I didn't know what to do. At the time, I was working at a trucking company as an analyst, and I love my job. I love doing my job. I love the people. And I just figured I would just relax and focus on that. My wife asked me a question. What if you decided, okay, Canary King is on the live stream. Canary King, are you working today? Are you working today? I'm tempted to call this live stream "YouTube Sucks," but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be juvenile about it. So I'm trying to figure out a thumbnail. So, all right. So here's what happened. Okay. By middle of February, okay, it's one of my regular. I'm trying to do the thumbnail, but it's affecting the video. So I'm just going to use one of the old thumbnails that I have on file and just put that up. So by middle of February, the channel was having about 100,000 views a day. And then by the first day of March, my mom dies. And then I needed to take a break from live streaming. So, okay, so Canary King is at work. Well, thank you for watching while you're at work. And Intergalactic Wrangler, thank you for connecting again. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. Intergalactic Wrangler says, like the new car in RoboCop, 6,000 SUX. First thing I could think of. 6,000 socks? I'm trying to figure out. Okay. Suggest a title for the live stream. Okay. Whatever you call the live stream, I'm going to use it. I hope I don't regret this. Okay, so you guys suggest a title for this live stream, and I'm going to use it. All right. Don't make me regret this. All right. Now, if you're watching for the first time, and where I'm hanging out with my people, we had an earlier live stream where we talked about the news. Okay, that's trending. I covered it, but we pivoted into a conversation that I felt required its own separate live stream. The live stream isn't dedicated to belly aching about YouTube. It's not, if I'm being honest. It's just me having a conversation with you guys. And then we're going to be looking at my feed. I'm looking at my feed here, and we're going to be diving in and out of different stories. Okay. Maybe we do an Asmon Gold type live stream where we just talk about stuff in my feed. All right. And just have some fun. So by first day of March, my mom dies. And it affected me in ways I didn't know it was going to affect me. I couldn't create content. I couldn't live stream. I couldn't think straight. And from March, April, May, June, and July, I went through work in a daze because I couldn't think straight. I couldn't even think about the channel. The only reason why I had to go back to creating content on the channel was because I had a commitment to you guys, and two, I needed to make the channel successful so I could fund the funeral. So I had to get back to creating content. By the time I got back to creating content, I was really slow in getting back. Of course, after almost 2 months of not creating any content, the channel cooled off, and I wasn't having 100,000 views anymore on my channel. It had cooled off to less than 500 views a day. So I got back to creating content and so on. And it's been a slog since, let's say, March, April, since May. It's been a slog since May to try to get the channel back to where it was. Of course, the channel is a young channel, not much doing. And basically, it's been a journey trying to get the channel back up to its original temperature. Now, I've seen other channels that create content like this, and you guys know me from watching and so on. Let's see. Connecticut says he's going between sites. All right, thanks. Freya Henry on Kick says, hey, how are you? I am doing great, Freya Henry. Thank you for joining on Kick. So what we're doing here is we're having a conversation. I'm introducing you to what's going on with the channel, and I'm also talking about things happening in the news. So I'm just going to talk about this. So I began talking about my suspicions. Okay, so Freya, I'm explaining. Months ago, I began talking about my suspicions that that channels like mine that give a common sense take on the world, a common sense take on the world, were essentially getting restricted. On the average, I recall having my channel gaining so many views, and then all of a sudden, my channel began to dip. I would look at my analytics up here, and on the average, daily views, it was averaging maybe 1,000 or more after we kicked off again, because I began to post content regularly. And then monthly views will be about 20,000. Okay. Now, it has dipped so badly that daily views on the average are less than 200. Sometimes. Now, okay, so Intergalactic Wrangler Okay, Freya says, oh, nice. Yeah, so what we're doing here is an Asmon Go type live stream, but not like this, okay? He doesn't do live streams like this. He essentially just basically reacts to content and talks to the chat that his mods, his moderators highlight the chats that he responds to. Okay, so I'm just going to be talking to you guys like my friends. So, Intergalactic Wrangler says, I don't watch shorts really, but they seem to do well. Shorts are fine. Between September and December, I got a lot of views on shorts, but shorts are like a crapshoot. Okay, if you're going to do shorts, it's either you plan the shorts, you put in an obscene amount of time to plan your shorts, and then you get a lot of views, but you don't make a lot of money. All right. You don't make a lot of money. And it was only in March, February or so that YouTube extended the length of shorts from 60 seconds to 3 minutes. Now, my plan at the time was to transition over to 3-minute shorts. But like I said, you need to plan your shorts if you're going to do a great short that is engaging and that keeps people on. And I didn't have the time to do all that, and so I let go of shorts and I stuck with long form content. Besides that, I'm very skeptical of short form content, of shorts, because if you have a story to tell, you need to be able to to articulate it properly and to guide the viewer through your thought process, and not just say, here's what I think, you better think that way. Because if you're creating short content, that kind of feels like what they're trying to do. Okay, so but again, I'm considering some tools that can take these live streams and videos that I'm doing and select shorts from them, which I can use as shorts. So, Intergalactic Wrangler, I'm not throwing shorts out completely, but I'm looking for ways to make this easier for me. So between May and July, I struggled with creating content, being at work. Remember, my mom's passing is still on my mind, and I'm going to tell you something crazy. My mom's funeral was planned to hold on January 3rd. So my mom dies in March of 2025. The funeral is in January, and I knew that was going to be an issue, because funerals are like closure. So someone dies, you have a funeral, it kind of signifies closure. So that meant that we're going to have about how many months of just having her passing in front of us, in front of our eyes constantly for maybe 10 months. And that's what I've been dealing with, okay, since she passed. So by July, I lost my job as an analyst at the trucking company. And I had to now begin to think about what to do. I was job hunting for another job, and then my work documents expired, and I've been having some trouble getting them renewed. Okay, so that's been happening since September. So between July and September, I was job hunting. Let's see. I'm going to be talking and answering your questions, so keep your questions coming. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I also suggest using AI for all questions for videos, topic ideas. With little practice, you can have some cool stuff. I have a few songs AI wrote for me. Yeah, so I actually do use AI. I do use AI. Like what I do is this: I look at the stories that are trending, and then I pick up the stories, then I put it into an AI tool. I use vidIQ. So what I do is I put it in vidIQ. For example, okay, so you guys are the bonus live watchers. So I'm going to give you a treat. I'm going to show you my backend. Okay. So this is what happened for the last live stream that you just watched that we just ended. Okay. So what I do here, and I guess you can see my screen. Okay. So what I do here, I'm going to disappear for a while. I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. Okay. So the last live stream, here's what I did. vidIQ, I'm using the paid version of vidIQ. So vidIQ allows you to have a chat coach. And what I did is I said to vidIQ, based on my channel, with a live stream covering these stories do well, arrange them in the best order. So if you look at the order of the stories, it is not the same order of the stories that I did when I went live. So I put these stories that I got from X. I got stories from X, Ground News. I picked up these stories and then I put it through the AI. Then the AI gives me a response and says, okay, here's the response, and it arranges a story, and it even suggests the title of the live stream. Okay. So I use AI tools to kind of speed these things along, and I try to use this tool to I use this tool to understand my broader audience. The sad thing is that right now, I'm not sure that with what YouTube is doing, that I'm still catering to the same audience that I was in March. Remember, I have over 10,900 subscribers. Now, that's another thing that is happening, but let me, if you guys remember a few days ago, I told you that Intergalactic Wrangler says your thumbnails have been great in my opinion. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thumbnails for months were a struggle for me. Doing great thumbnails is difficult. It's difficult, especially when you see Mr. Beast's thumbnails, you see other people's thumbnails. There's now Nick Shirley's thumbnails. I like his thumbnails. I think I was inspired partially by his thumbnails, and I was also inspired by liberal hive mind. Some of you who are OGs of the channel will recognize that there was a time when I used to react to liberal hive minds videos during the live stream, and then we pivoted to begin to focus on topics and stories after I had some conversations with Canary King. Canary King is on the live stream. So you guys literally have molded the channel, and so if you can see the similarities with liberal hive mind, okay, I'm talking to my people here. And if you're watching and you're thinking to yourself, I would like to, start doing YouTube as well. Maybe this live stream will be helpful for you too. So I'm just pulling back the curtain and showing you how stuff works on the channel. Okay. So you can see where some of the inspiration for my colors, at least for the thumbnail, has come from. Now, I used to put the captions or the captions of the thumbnails at the bottom like Liberal Hive Mind does, but I decided to start to move it up to the top. Because I felt it was better. I felt that the audience reacted better to the top captions than the bottom. So that's why I did it. So I'm just showing you guys, this is no big deal. Okay. And to be honest, I wish someone did this for me while I was starting on YouTube, that they could show me, okay, here's what I'm doing, and not want to sell you a course. So, so Nick Shirley posted a bunch of stuff. So I started out talking about this during the last live stream. And that is the fact that a bunch of us YouTubers are noticing that we are essentially getting suppressed. YouTube has done this before. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I think if you just keep putting out good content, they will come. Yeah. Like, I hope that the way I'm presenting my thoughts on this live stream, you get the idea. You get the idea that I'm not whining and I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. Okay, so I forgot to change. I'm waiting for you guys to give me a title for this live stream. People are joining the live stream thinking that it's an Ilhan Omar live stream, and they're seeing this black guy talking about how his YouTube channel is suffering. So I'm waiting for you guys to give me a title so that I stop making these people feel like this is clickbait. Okay, it still has the same title as the old live stream, same thumbnail. So I would like you guys to help me out with this. Okay. So I'm waiting on you guys to just give me some pointers. All right. Just give me some pointers. Let's see. Do I have anything? I need something. So let's see. All right, so you guys are watching me choose a thumbnail. I have all these thumbnails that I created, and I'm looking for one that is neutral, and I don't have neutral thumbnails. I don't have neutral thumbnails. Ah, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, I'll just use this one. I'll just use that one. All right, so you guys give me a title for this, okay? Give me a title for this. I'm waiting. I am waiting. YouTube, then and now, a Crossroads. Okay, I will use this title that has been offered by Intergalactic Wrangler. All right. So, let me see. YouTube. All right. Let me see. Can I still do this? Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at this. Okay, so now, guys, I created this live stream for us to talk. If anyone jumps in and stays, good for them. But the main content, was earlier. This is just us. So, in the end, we have situations like this with Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley with over 1.25 million subscribers struggling to upload his own videos. I have videos that I've uploaded. I get more views on my live stream videos than I do on my standalone uploads. The video that I uploaded last night at midnight has gotten fewer views than this afternoon's live stream, I believe. Okay, now this is after over 12 hours of being published. It's gotten fewer views than the live stream we did this afternoon. And why is that? I'm trying to figure that out, and I don't want my brain to default to the YouTube algorithm is out to get me. Now, with all of this happening, that is why I said to myself, okay, there's something happening with YouTube, and the one way to get around getting frustrated by YouTube is one, serving my core audience. Okay, Canary King, Intergalactic Wrangler, Patricia, Tony. Then we have Christine. I haven't seen Christine in a few weeks. You know, like all of these people who essentially are recurring audience on my content. I want to serve you and serve you well, and then encourage those of you who can. Not everyone can. Let's see. You're saying it could be prime time issues. Many people already watch other things. No, it's true, but that has always been true about YouTube. YouTube has always had people watching things simultaneously. There are literally billions of videos on YouTube. There are millions being published every day. There are millions of YouTube channels out there. There are possibly hundreds of thousands of them doing what in this category of news and politics. So the competition is there. So it's true that it could be a primetime issue. I live stream twice a day. I publish my content. I try to publish my content at the right time. vidIQ recommends that I publish videos between 9 o'clock and between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's the best time to publish videos. I have published my videos during those windows. Crickets. So I think those rules no longer apply. Those rules no longer apply. Another thing that has been happening with the channel is I've been losing subscribers. If you recall last week, I told you guys that I was seven subscriptions away from 11,000 subscribers. As I speak today, that number has dropped to almost 30 subscribers. From having 7 subscribers away from 11,000, YouTube has deleted subscribers from my channel. I've been losing subscribers every day over the last few days to this point where I almost need 30 subscribers to get to 11,000. So instead of gaining, I'm losing. I'm creating content every day or every other day. I've added my regular standalone stories, and then I haven't led up with the quality. Like you guys see how I'm improving regularly on the quality of the content. Okay, I'm involving my audience. My audience is involved. You guys are involved. Patricia is a member of the audience, and now she anchors the show along with me. And you know what? It's not close to anyone else. Anyone else who feels like they would like to be on the show, they are part of the show. What other YouTube channel does it like this? I haven't met any yet. So I'm doing all of this to cater to my audience. And then I'm losing subscribers. I'm losing views. So like I said earlier, Intergalactic Wrangler says, wow. Yeah. So like I said earlier, I think I have enough evidence to show that YouTube is doing something negative to my channel. Okay. Now, most of you who continue to come back to watch my content, I want to believe that you're not pity watching my channel. Okay. Oh, let's help the black immigrant guy, grow his channel. Let's give him some encouragement. Okay. I know you guys are not like that. Those of you who support my channel, Tony lives in Australia. He's a member of the channel. He subscribes, and he also gives super chats. Okay, when he can. So no one is. Yeah, all the important people are here. So I'm talking to my people. Okay. So when I look at what's been going on over the last 6 months, people said that the YouTube algorithm essentially flipped in August. Many people thought that it was them essentially preventing robots from viewing videos or preventing ad blockers from working on videos and so on. But later we found out that they essentially have given Gemini, the AI, the Google AI, the run of YouTube. So if you've ever used Gemini to do any form of research politically, even on the paid YouTube, Google Workspace subscription, Gemini will tell you categorically that it is not allowed to provide you with polarizing results of a political question. Imagine putting that in charge of YouTube. So while YouTube is celebrating this glorious launch into AI, running their algorithm, they are touting real-time analysis of your live stream and letting the people who need to know about your live stream know about it. Some people are claiming that no, I'm not discouraged, guys. Look, I talked with my wife yesterday. We talked for a bit, and I told her these are the things I'm up against, but I'm not giving up. I'm focusing on my audience. Okay, I'm focusing on my audience, and I get these comments in the chat that are not in the chat, in the comment section, that are designed to get me to want to just give up. Okay, but I don't intend to. All right. Excuse me. So all of these things are happening, and Canary King and he's about to give me some like Canary King has been amazing with suggestions. All right, and you guys bring in the suggestions. But here's the thing. I want to submit to you. Let's see. Some people don't like long form. Maybe throw in some timestamps. Just brainstorming. Yeah. Throwing in timestamps. Okay, so the long form videos, I have already set up the long forms to get automatic timestamps. And every time I go back to my videos, I don't see those automatic timestamps. All right. So, is YouTube messing with my channel? It's just a question. So I don't know. Okay. Let's see. Canary King says, keep in mind you're building a community. You only need 10 raving fans to explode. And yeah, and you know what? I think I'm almost there with you guys. Okay. You're getting there in a strong way. Yeah, look. Every time I have these moments, and you guys just need to know, like, I tell you guys what's going on. I wait to the end of some live streams and I just break down, hey, these are the hurdles I have to clear. And here's why I'm pushing more for donations and things, so that you guys don't think that I'm panhandling and I'm trying to force monetization of my content. It's just that in order for all of this to make sense, okay, there has to be, like, let me see. I'm trying to make sure my wife is not watching. Make sure my wife is not watching. My wife is such an amazing woman, and she has been carrying the financial load since the end of July. I was able to get my my employment insurance for a few months, but when my work authorization paperwork just wasn't renewed, I couldn't get that anymore. So she's been carrying it for months. So this has to make sense for me. I'm watching, look, Nigerians are very proud. We're very proud people, at least from where the tribe I'm from. And we hate appearing to be beggars. We hate it. So if I appear to give too much information that puts us to look as if we're disadvantaged, she won't like it. But I'm talking to you guys because I need to be honest about what's going on with you guys. And I'm being honest, and I'm trying hard to be honest in a way that doesn't put pressure on you. So it's a very difficult thing to do. I want to tell you guys, here's what's happening. Here's how it's feeling. And here's the stuff happening in real time here at home. But I don't want it to seem like, okay, I'm trying to use this as leverage to put pressure on you guys. No, I'm just trying to get you guys all caught up so that when you can put all the pieces together and see what YouTube is doing, okay, you understand the battle, and I'll use that word, the battle that I have to face every single time I sit in this chair, swing down this microphone and hit go live. And then I'm looking, and the annoying thing about it is when I'm live, I can see the view count right here on my screen because, the software forces you to see the view count. So I literally have to play mind games on myself while I'm live streaming to try not to look at the view count, but my eyes keep going to the view count. And it's just a mental battle to just stay optimistic, keep providing the content, and enjoy the show with my friends. Okay. Canary King says the algorithm is likely giving you strikes for certain terms, but we can sanitize that over time. Well, what terms? I don't cuss. Okay. I don't use expletives or words that are frowned upon. I try to be charitable, especially when I'm talking about people who are of a different political persuasion. I try to avoid outrage, even though I know outrage sells. In this business, outrage sells. But I try to avoid it because I know that that the kind of content I put out determines the kind of audience I cultivate. So I don't know if you guys followed the situation with Hassan Piker and the shock collar. And if you know Hassan Piker, you know, he's not within our demographic, but if you know Hassan Piker, his community, he has created a community that is quite toxic or difficult, or something much closer to home. Candace Owens. Candace Owens, over the last year or so, cultivated an audience that leaned a certain way, expected a certain kind of reporting, and expected a certain kind of conclusion or crescendo. During this last couple of weeks, with her meeting with Erica Kirk and everything, that audience, at least a portion of that audience, turned on her because she didn't do or say things that they expected her or wanted her to do or say about the story that she was following. Okay. So the kind of content you create determines the audience that you attract. And I don't want to create an audience that is addicted to outrage. It may be great for the bank account in the short term, but in a couple of years, that audience could literally eat me alive and eat itself alive. Okay? Like Hassan Piker has that issue. Now we're seeing it developing with Candace Owens. Canary King says, look, we're human. It is a tough road, but we'll take this to the top. Thank you so much for saying that, Canary King. I appreciate it. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I found you looking for something else. I put in a wrong search term, but delighted by the mistake. Intergalactic Wrangler ran into the content, and I think you're referring to the Nigerian the video, the live stream we did on a Sunday, where I was covering the story about Trump giving the Nigerian government a warning, and it was quite an amazing live stream. Intergalactic Wrangler, Hassan the dog zapper. He is never going to live that down. He is going to continually be known as the guy who zapped his dog. You know, yeah. So still responding to Canary King's comment about the possibility that the channel is being restricted because of terms. I've done my best to just make sure that the content is not offensive. And when I say offensive, I mean proper offensive, not woke offensive. And I try to I try to create that opportunity to essentially have like an open door of conversation with people who don't see eye to eye with me on certain things and politics and so on. So I don't want to alienate people. You know, when you learn what people have to say about YouTube, one of the things that you're encouraged to do is to have a hard line where it is an us versus them kind of conversation. And I don't see this channel being that kind of place where it's an us versus them thing. There will be people who don't agree with my commentary. There will be people who, when they hear me mention my Christian convictions, they will leave the channel. That does happen. But my purpose is not to shove that in people's faces and create this divide, an us versus them thing. So I am very careful with the words I use. I'm very careful with the terms I use. And even the AI that I use warns me whenever I put certain kinds of words in my titles and descriptions. It says this could be frowned upon by YouTube. So I'm well aware of all those things. Now, in spite of all of that work, I'm still getting these restrictions. Okay. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler also says nothing to watch on the weekends on YouTube. Okay, so that's referring to how you found me. Now, let me ask a question, okay? Because I've been thinking about live streaming on weekends. So, just over time, I need you guys to let me know if you want me to provide content on weekends. And I'll be honest with you, this is a lot of hard work. Doing the research and everything, it's a lot of hard work. And if I'm honest with you, live streaming like this, talking with you and just, riffing on different topics is something I would like to do more of. But nobody wants to listen to the thoughts of a nobody. Nobody wants to listen to the thoughts of a nobody. So maybe eventually we'll be able to do that. Or maybe we'll just have these smaller live streams. I do the main live stream where I talk about the news, end it, then circle back, and then do commentary. Okay, just the commentary on my thoughts, and we can dive into different rabbit holes. I mean, that could be something that we could do. I like the way we ended the first live stream and then just went into this one. I don't know if this can be a thing. I don't know, but it's just a thought. Intergalactic Wrangler, politics and religion are hard topics to cover. They are. And one of the reasons why they are, especially for people with my sensitivities, is it's easy for people who drive. Okay, so I'm going to share. Hold on. I'm going to switch to analytics and the trends. Let's see, trends. Yeah. So you have these kinds of videos. Okay, where's Midas Touch? There he is. He's always in my suggestions. New videos to inspire you, and they tell me to go look at Midas Touch. And Midas Touch is a Trump-hating channel. Okay, so everything in the news, as far as they are concerned, is against Trump. Okay, this is another Midas Touch story, and this is a motivational speaker. So these kinds of channels succeed. They blow up. Okay, this was 1 week ago, 450,000 views. All right, these kinds of channels blow up because outrage sells. Okay, outrage sells. And sometimes you watch the stories and they're just lying. And I don't want to be that guy. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I've seen others do it in two parts: main story or headlines, and ignore the chat, then open mic on second show, chat call-ins, cameras, just brainstorming. Yeah, so if you're referring to Timcast, Timcast has the stories and the panel, and then they have the membership or the members only section where they have call-ins and so on. For our channel, we have this, and then we also have, the open, but what I do is try to engage as the story develops. So if you're saying I should possibly do like what I did today, I barely had any comments to read while I was covering the stories that I covered earlier in the first live stream. I wrapped it up, and then during my wrap up, we pivoted into what we're talking about now. And then I figured I would end that live stream and start the second one. So I guess what you're saying is, instead of breaking the live stream into two parts, divide it and have the open mic segment. Now, I love that idea. I want to do that idea. The reality is, you need a certain audience size to be able to achieve this constantly. Or, like Canary King says, you need a core, dedicated or devoted audience who will always be there and committed to doing the second part. Because if the format of the show is stories first and then chat and open mic, on the back end or on the second part of the show, then it has to be something that constantly happens. You can't have a show that's supposed to have those two parts, but the second part doesn't happen because there's no one to do that. Now, there's also another part to this. There's also the part of timing. The afternoon live streams, like what we're doing right now, is awkward because people go to work. They're at work and they may not be able to call in. So maybe the two-parter show can be something we do for the 8 p.m. show, where we have the two parts and we have the call in, and it's all one show. There's also the consideration of timing. For YouTube, at least YouTube, the way it used to work, for YouTube to recommend your video, whether it's a live stream or it's a regular 20-minute or 10-minute long video, for them to recommend the video to other people, the average duration viewed of the video has to be a certain percentage. And if it's not, if people just look at the video and they see, I just clicked into a 2-hour long live stream or a 1-hour long live stream, many people will just say, oh, I don't have time to watch a 1-hour long live stream. I better go over to that short that I like watching, or the 10-minute long video. And when you have a large number of them doing that on a video, YouTube says, well, this video isn't taking off. Let's not recommend it. And then when you have that happening enough times for a channel, they essentially say, all the videos from this channel aren't taking off. Let's just not recommend them as much as we used to. So that's one of the challenges of doing this format. But I'm open to seeing whether we can make that happen. Again, some of the live streams that have done quite well have been live streams with tons of engagement, with plenty of outrage in the chat, people chatting and talking about stuff that they feel they have an opinion on, and they start fighting in the chat. Intergalactic Wrangler says, now please, if you're watching, don't think that you're locked out of this conversation, okay? Because I'm seeing that there are basically two people chatting, but there are more than two people who are watching. So, and I'm looking at all my channels. We live stream on 2 YouTube channels, the main channel and the backup channel. We live stream on Kick and Twitch and on Rumble and on X. Okay, so if you're watching on X, you can leave a chat and I will see it and I will respond. Okay, so I'm live streaming, I'm multi-streaming on all these platforms. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I was thinking Y-Files. You guys are really my people. You guys are really my people. You're thinking the Y-Files, and he has the After Files and also the Quantum Show. Yeah, and he always has a second show to discuss the first, same as Y-Files. Okay, so we can explore this idea. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to explore it. I'm going to explore it. I'll be honest with you guys, okay? And I'll do my best to be honest with you guys as much as I can. I can literally sit in this room for 8 hours creating content for you nonstop. I can. I need to justify it with revenue. So that's the part that is, I feel like I need to kind of give myself permission to do that. That responsible dad and husband thing keeps coming up in my head, and I'm like, I need to justify this. Okay. I like the Wi-Fi's, the Wi-Files idea. Now I have the main channel, the backup channel. So here's the question. Okay. So instead of live streaming on the second channel, because I have several YouTube channels. So let me go back to what you just said on this idea. So we kind of drill down into it. Okay. Y-Files and then the After Files. So the Y-Files is where he does the recording and then he does a recorded show and publishes it. The After Files, is that a live stream? I haven't seen the After Files or the Quantum Show. So where does he do a live stream and then has a second show to discuss the first show? I haven't experienced that before. So maybe we can talk about this. I kind of like what we did with today, with doing the first news show and then cutting off and doing the second one. I feel, in many ways, I feel kind of liberated with doing this. Now, I don't know if what I just said made sense, but whenever I'm covering those news stories, because like King and I discussed pacing several months ago, several months before that, what I was doing was I would do the Asmon Gold type of live stream where I simply have my X feed open with all the bookmarks and I just play the stories and do commentary and read the chat. Okay. Now, I am not Asmon Gold. Okay. That was a discovery period for the channel. I was trying to figure out how to do the live streams well so that it would be useful to whoever it was that ran into the channel. And then it could also help me to, provide value, in a very organic way. So we discussed, King and I discussed, and we figured out that kind of organizing the stories in a blow by blow, quick take on each of the stories could help with engagement, and we switched over to that. So that's why the content looks the way it does today, largely because of Canary King's contribution. Now, looking at what you're describing now, it appears like live streaming on both of the YouTube channels and live streaming the same thing may be counterproductive. Now, the After Files appears to be another YouTube channel. The Quantum Show appears to be a different YouTube channel. So Intergalactic Wrangler, I need to know. Now, if you guys want me to open up the phone lines, okay, so that you can call in and explain it, that would be great. I can do that. But if you feel comfortable, if you feel like you should just type it out, I'll read it out and then we'll just discuss it. Okay. So I want us to explore this idea. I like it. I like the way the transition we had for today felt. We had the first live stream, went through the stories, read a few comments, but pivoted into another live stream where I'm having a very smooth conversation with you guys. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says the Y-Files have just started a new segment called The Basement. Those guys are amazing. Amazing. Intergalactic Wrangler says, jump on here, guys. All right, so let me know your thoughts. I mean, we've looked at the Y-Files format. So let me ask a question, okay? So a bunch of people, I have one person, like every time I go live on the backup channel, and if you don't know you're watching the backup channel, it is the Crossroads channel. So instead of Crossroads IRL, it's the logo is Crossroads. If you're on that channel, I don't know who you are, or I'm not sure who's watching, but every single time I go live, that person jumps on the live stream and stays the entire time. Okay, I've never seen anything like it before. So whoever you are, thank you for doing that. However, we would love to meet you. Okay, because you're encouraging our live streaming to that channel. However, this conversation is going to affect what happens to that channel going forward. So we would like your vote on this. Another option would be for me to leave things as is and then create a new channel where we do the other things. Now, the reason why all of that is going to be another challenge is monetization. All right. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Okay, the monetization is a huge factor in this whole business. Is a huge factor. So while we're doing all of this, I can open 10 channels today. It's not a problem. The challenge is, how can this make sense from a financial standpoint? And that's why I try to push things to the monetized side. The main channel, Crossroads IRL, is monetized. Yes, that's where we have over 10,900 subscribers, but we're struggling to see engagement across the entire 10,900. So it is, let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, one day I'll dust off the PC and headset. I've been on a few channels. I'm just ugly and shy. I'm scared. I'll say something inappropriate. No. If you're scared, you say something inappropriate, then it's very likely you won't say something inappropriate. Every single day when I get up here to talk, sometimes I wonder if I'll have anything to say to you. And then I wind up talking for 3 hours. So, okay, that's not a good example. I was trying to encourage you to talk. But if you're conscious about not saying something inappropriate, it's a good thing. it means that you are going to be careful with your words. You will think before you speak. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, so whenever I hear someone say that, it tells me that they definitely will be careful and they are less likely to say something inappropriate. So, yeah, so I'm encouraging you to, dust off the PC and the headset. All right. So now all of this said, okay, where are we? Okay, should we start with doing the first part as a live stream and then doing the second part as an audience interaction, like what we did today, where we have the live stream where we cover the stories, people chat, and then we continue, we break off the live stream and then resume. Now, the beautiful thing with the software that I use is that I still have all the chats from the early live stream on my panel. All right, like let's see. This chat by Intergalactic Wrangler was posted on the first live stream. I still have it on my panel. So we could literally have the first live stream, go through the stories, ask people to post their comments, encourage them to wait and rejoin the engagement portion of the live stream, end the live stream, and then start off the next segment of the live stream. Like that's the picture I'm having in my head right now. All right, that's the picture I'm having in my head. Okay, do that, have something of that nature happen, and then, I mean, I'm just wondering if that makes any sense to you. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to, so I just opened my my X feed. Okay, so just in case we see something interesting to react to. Everything in the feeds is essentially just focusing on Nick Shirley. So let's see. Let's see. So we have this video or this post by Gunther Eagleman, and he says, now we're still talking about that thing, okay? So I'm just telling you that we will be looking at what's going on in the feeds, okay? So I'm seeing that there's something here that we could discuss. So we will definitely be looking at this story, okay? But let's wrap up your suggestions and what you think we should do, okay, guys? So what I'm hearing is let's do, okay, sorry. This side panel is distracting. I want to apologize for bringing it up. All right, so let's see. All right, so we'll bring that back when we're talking about because some of these stories are happening, and whenever I look at my X feed, from what I can see, tells a human story. It tells a human story. It tells a story of cause, effect, reaction. Okay. People post stuff on X all the time about things that are happening and warning about what it could cause. Then when the effect happens, it goes viral. Everyone is talking about it, like what we're seeing with the immigration crisis, the Somali fraud situation, and so on. And then we're now at the reaction stage where everyone is reacting now. Okay, so maybe, so I look at it, and then, it's something that I like to see that tells me what people are thinking and where people are leaning. My algorithm, of course, might be different from yours, and that's why I like to ask you what you think and get your feedback. Okay, so Intergalactic Wrangler says, suggestion: live stream or just a 30-minute edited upload or whatever, and ignore the chat if not live. Then go ham on second episode back to back and engage. Don't listen to me. I think I have 3 followers. And no video. No, look. My question to you guys who are watching, okay, and I think now Canary King is at work, and he might be listening and may not be able to respond immediately, but there's some merit to what you're saying. So whether you have 2 followers, 1 follower, 0 followers, 0 videos, it's irrelevant. The question is this something you would consume? Okay. You don't need to own a car factory or a car company to know what kind of car you need or the kind of car you want. Talking to you lets me know what the audience wants. What do you want? Do you want me to do a 30-minute live stream, go all in on the stories, build momentum, and then tell the audience, okay, we're going to be transitioning to the audience engagement portion of the live stream. We're going to end this live stream and then skip over into the audience engagement live stream where you join in and we will we'll answer all of your comments. All right. And then we do what we did today. We move over to the audience engagement segment with a new live stream, possibly the same thumbnail and everything, but just the same conversation. And then we dive into the comments and the call-ins. I think that's what you're talking about. You're describing it. Doing a 30-minute edited upload is nice, but so let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys like talking to me? Do you guys like talking to me in the chat? Because if you like talking to me in the chat, then we have to lean heavily into that connection. And I'll tell you, I love talking to you guys in the chat. I love seeing you guys in the chat. And so if I enjoy it, but you don't enjoy it, and all you want is 10, 20, 30-minute edited uploads, don't talk to us, don't listen to us, don't read my comment, then that's what I will do. But if you enjoy talking with me in the chat, if you enjoy seeing me reacting in real time, like a living, breathing person, not AI, because right now, believe me, in the next few years, we're going to have an AI problem on YouTube, Rumble, everywhere, because people are going to be creating content with AI because, frankly speaking, not because they are bad people, but because, but because people are self-conscious. They don't think people will like them. They don't like the way their voices sound. So what will they do? They'll get AI to do all the talking for them. Just realized I hadn't had any drink of water. So I will listen to you, Intergalactic Wrangler, okay? You don't have to own a car company to know what kind of car works for you. Intergalactic Wrangler says, try stuff, see what works. Canary King says yes, and I'm not sure what you're saying yes to. So please tell me what you're saying yes to. I don't know. I've said a bunch of stuff. So just kind of clarify what you're saying yes about. I just need to be sure, before I celebrate and throw my hat in the air. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I like to engage with you in the chat, but some won't. Remember what I said earlier. The kind of audience you cater to is the kind of audience that grows. If I cater to an audience that is driven by outrage, or is driven, I gave my examples earlier. I don't want my audience to turn out to be an audience I don't want to be around. Okay, so I want to cater to an engaged audience. That's who I want. So, Intergalactic Wrangler, people that engage. I want 90% of my audience to be people who engage, people who are compassionate, people who are good people who think and reason about things clearly, even when they don't like the conclusions of the reasoning, but they're wise enough to accept the conclusions of the deep thoughts that we are. People who can engage in an exchange of ideas. Okay, those are the kind of people I want to draw into the channel. So, I'm not going to cater to an audience that isn't here. And I don't want to cater to an audience that I will not enjoy talking to. I've been here for an hour, 16 minutes, talking to just you and Canary King. There are other people online who are watching and listening. They're coming in and leaving, but they're listening. But what is keeping me here for this long, after live streaming for an hour before this, is because I love hanging out with you guys. Okay? I'm not getting the views. I'm not getting there are no super chats. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the engagement. I'm here for you guys. And I want to cater to people. I want to create an audience just like you. So for the some that won't, they're welcome to come, but I want to create a platform for people who engage. I hope that sounds like I'm very laser focused on this audience, the people who engage. Intergalactic Wrangler says digital ID will be necessary, but it kind of sucks. Now I'm trying to figure out where that came in. Maybe something I said. Okay, some states are making VPN illegal. Yeah. Look, any state that does that, I think the people there just voted for that. Okay. Elections have consequences. Whenever a state or a city has these kinds of policies playing out, the elections played a part. People elected those people in. All right. Yes, Canary King says yes, he meant that he likes talking to me in the chat. Yeah, this is the audience I want to cater to. And as painful as it's going to be, because when you're building something meaningful, it is painful, it is hard, it is difficult, it is going to take time. Most of us wish that these things kind of grow a lot faster. But for things that are good and quality, sometimes it just takes time. So I have resigned myself to just saying, okay, no matter how long this takes, we're just going to do this. All right. And I've mentioned this several times. I'm hoping that we're able to make this channel um, financially viable to be something that I can do full time even after my work authorization comes out. But if it doesn't come out that way, it means that I will have to get a 9 to 5. I will have to adjust the time, the schedule of the content, and I'll let you guys know, what's going on. Integrity Wrangler says, I'm a UFO guy engaging and learning some political crap. We're all UFO guys. To be honest, I don't want to talk about news and politics. I want to talk about movies. I want to talk about shows that I'm watching. I'm watching Landman. I'm watching Pluribus. I'm trying to wrap up the Stranger Things disaster because it's not climaxing the way Stranger Things was expected to climax. It's almost like a Game of Thrones season 8 disaster. But I'm watching it. I'm trying to wrap it up. And then the final episode is meant to be released in theaters. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It's just discouraging. I almost didn't watch the final half of this season, but I'm a completionist, so I have to. I'll figure out how to get the final episode. So that's what I would rather talk about. Okay, I'll rather talk about that. I'll rather talk about other things, things in the Bible that I find that are just mind blowing. For example, there's tons of extraterrestrial activity in the Bible. I'm like, I would like to talk about that, but this channel, the main channel, showed signs of most people wanting to watch channels that cover news and politics. And that's what this channel essentially revealed. So that's why we pivoted to news and politics. Who knows, one day we could pivot over to something we actually like talking about, like UFOs. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I feel these blue states destroy themselves, but that's not very nice. They know not what they do. They don't. Or do they? Sometimes I'm like, they really don't know what they're doing. They're stupid. But then again, it kind of feels engineered. It kind of feels like they've been planning this for a long time. That's how it feels. It feels like they've been, because you watch old videos from the 70s and the 80s. There's a video that I did months ago. Should I play that video? Maybe one of these days I'll just go back and play some of my older videos that didn't get much views on YouTube. There's a lady that was covering how the educational system was transformed into what it is today, and she was on one of those boards and meetings where they were being planned out. And this is a video that was recorded in the 80s. I have that video on my channel. So maybe one of these days we're going to go back and play some of those old interviews and talk about them, because when you look at what these blue states are doing, it doesn't feel like they don't know what they're doing. They've been talking about this for decades. So, we could say, yes, they don't know what they're doing because they don't know that in destroying America, they are destroying themselves. But most of them aren't banking on being around when the fire is raging. Most of them don't have kids. Most of them don't have kids. Hold on, my wife is calling. So let me just hold on. I'll just put you guys on mute. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat. I'll just talk to my wife and right? She's shocked that I'm still talking to you guys. So, like, you've been live streaming for over 3 hours. I'm like, yeah, not exactly. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so when you watch what these people have been doing for years, it is hard for you to come to the conclusion that this isn't orchestrated. It appears like this has been the end game from day one. All right, so maybe one day we're going to just pick at some of these stories and just watch them. I mean, there's tons of evidence out there that they know what they're doing. Okay, they know what they're doing. Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says maybe do some emails and grab a well-known guest. Well, if you guys know well-known guests, because do you know what? I don't know any. And I'll be honest with you. I tried that one time and I got stood up by the guests. I advertised it. I published it. I said we're doing a live stream and the guest stood me up. I don't think I've recovered from that. It was embarrassing. And you know what? Not only did the guest stand me up, the guest ghosted me. Stopped answering my emails, stopped responding to me on X. Everything just ghosted me outright. So I don't know. I'm a bit skittish about special guests. So if you guys can make an introduction, I'm fine. I will, but I think it's going to be hard for me to reach out to anyone special, you know, to draw views. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. Maybe you guys can change the way I feel about it, but I don't have anyone right now that I could say. And you know what? The truth is, I would rather collaborate with people who are like close in channel size with me than huge channels. Because if most people like, okay, one of the channels that I spent most of the year studying and looking up to essentially has ignored my email because I reached out to them not to feature on my show, not to do anything too intrusive, but just to say, hey, I would like to connect. Emails ignored. I sent an email, I sent a message on X and said, hey, I'm a little channel. I love what you're doing. Could you please just reach out and give me some pointers? Crickets. And it's been maybe 7 months now. Crickets. And I do my best not to be offended. I say, look, maybe they're busy. It's hard to run these big channels and keep the schedule they're keeping. They release content every day, every single day. So I'll let them go and, you know, I just move on. So yes, grabbing guests is a known way of attracting views and an audience to your channel, but it's difficult to do that. Okay, I'll just tell you the truth. I've tried it and it's hard to do, and I don't have a team. So sending out emails, hunting for collaborators, trying to get people to work with you on content, it's a lot, you know. So getting stood up during a live stream or doing content is something that I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do. I'm just being honest. But it's a good idea, you know, and maybe someday we'll do that. Stranger Things, I gave up after season 2. Yeah. Netflix has a season 2 problem. They have a season 2 problem. They have great bangers. Season 1 is amazing, and then season 2 things begin to fall off. Look at The Witcher. The Witcher was a disaster, you know, and they have refused to kill the show. They are spending millions and millions on a show that died after season 1. Canary King says, stay focused, keep building the community. The first 10 raving fans is the hardest. Then it explodes by a factor of 10 each cycle and turns into a virtuous cycle of 10, 100,000, etc. Thank you, Canary King. Thank you for the encouragement. UFOs are great. Look, there is a spark of the supernatural in everyone. We seek the transcendent. And UFOs are just one of those things that we gravitate to. You know, they are amazing. And you know what? I don't think they are made up, you know. UFO channels usually don't do well. That is true. They usually don't do well. And I don't know why. Can someone explain why UFO channels don't do well? But somehow the Y files, it's not a UFO channel per se, but I'm wondering how they cracked the code. You know, how channels that talk about those things, but don't exactly talk about those things. You know, how do they crack the code? Is it something that I could learn from? Just thinking. Just thinking. Intergalactic Wrangler says, that was just bad luck. Do it again. Twice. This is up. Okay. Well, the second time I didn't exactly ask the person to be on the show or anything. I'll do it again. I'll keep trying. I promise. I solemnly promise I will keep trying. I'll figure out a way to keep trying. All right. So, I'm going to save the thing on X for maybe tonight or for another video that I'll do. I'm going to save it for something else, okay? Because like this is what I see in my feed, and it's just insane. Insanity after insanity after insanity. People just doing and saying the craziest things, lying, trying to make it look like all of us are crazy because we're all calling out corruption, insurrection in cities where ICE federal agents are being attacked. You know, like I'm looking at, this is my feed, guys. This is my feed. Okay. The manager of Quality Learning Center says there's no fraud going on as he stands in front of a sign that is spelled wrong. Okay, well, it being spelled wrong is, I don't know, is it the fault of the print company that did it? Okay. The print company messed up. Plus, you have the council member claiming that this learning center had been shut down for weeks and suddenly is magically open and they're all standing in front of the place talking and trying to gaslight the rest of us. Okay, we're going to continue to see this. Wisconsin governor refuses to give up information on SNAP recipients to show fraud. They keep asking, you know, the Trump administration, what are you trying to hide? What are you trying to hide when it comes to the Epstein files? Okay, the Epstein files are a different data set. Okay, blue cities and blue states, release your SNAP and EBT roll so that we can see if people are receiving these benefits who have no business receiving, so that we can save money for the American taxpayer. And they all said no. And turn around and they say, we're going to sue you for asking. Like these are the crazy things that that we're seeing in our feed. Anyway, we're going to back to what we're discussing, and I'm going to just close this page. Okay. All right. So, guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for the extra hour plus. All of the ideas that you've mentioned are great, but of all the ideas that we've discussed, this stands out. Okay, and I want you guys to let me know if you feel the same way. All right. Do the live stream. Keep it short, 20 to 30 minutes. Cover the stories. And then break the live stream into the second part, which essentially is focused on audience engagement. So that way we can essentially create a high engagement trajectory with the story, focusing on only the story, tell the story, and then end the live stream, and then start the second half of the live stream, which is focused on reading the comments, responding to the chat, engaging with you. All right, so that's what I came away with at the end of this conversation. But let me know if that's the same thing you came away with. And if there's something that I missed, okay, just let me know in the chat. Okay, this is us hanging out. This video, this live stream is not for the algorithm, and very likely, I might unlist it. I might just let it sit. But let me know in the chat. I'm waiting for your reactions in the chat. There's always a delay during the live streams. There's always a delay, and having these conversations in the chat is always very difficult to do, because you're covering the story, and I think that's why this suggestion works, because sometimes when you're covering the story and you're seeing the chat populate, and you want to immediately respond to the chat, it's hard to do because you're not responding in real time. You're responding to someone who is maybe a full minute behind in the conversation, and so they don't get to hear you respond until maybe a full minute, and you're not exactly having a real-time exchange. So it's always really hard. Now, okay, Intergalactic Wrangler says, all you can do is give it a shot. If it doesn't work, try again. I think there's merit to this. There's merit to this. Now, between you and Canary King, I have a question. All right. Would this work for you? Now, remember, I'm talking to my core fans. Okay, I'm talking to my super fans. Right? You guys are my super fans. I want to serve my super fans. If I did this, would you attend the first and then join the second? Would you stay for the first, post all of your comments and reactions, and then that live stream ends, and then the second begins where we engage with your chats and reactions? Is this something that you'll be willing to do and that you would look forward to? Right? That's my question to you, because at this point, with the numbers that we're getting on YouTube, and I'm not saying that there's no merit in trying to bring the numbers up. But we've been trying for weeks to bring the numbers up. I am currently releasing standalone 6, 7, 10, 15-minute videos recorded and edited, and the numbers aren't going up. So right now, I don't want to cater to the numbers. I don't. I want to cater to you. So that for me is my focus. So whether we have 5 people joining the second live stream, 10,000 is irrelevant. What's relevant is it something you want, or is it something that you're going to hate when it starts happening? So we could give it a test run and you guys will give me feedback. Maybe it's premature to ask you to let me know if this is something you would want to do, you would want to attend when I execute on it. And I could do it tonight. Do the news for the first 20 minutes or so while you guys give your reactions. And then we break it off and then jump into the engagement show where we do the after show. I like the idea of an after show. So we can have the main show where the news is read and I'm calling for you guys to give your reactions. And then we say, okay, join us for the after show. It's going live right after this. And then we go offline, then come back on immediately and you guys join. Then we do the after show so that we can figure out a neat way of both providing great commentary on the news, getting your thoughts on the stories, and then covering them in an engaging way in the after show. So the main show could be 20, 30 minutes. The after show could be an hour, 2 hours, depending on how engaged the audience is. So, I mean, that's the picture that I came away with. Okay, guys? All right. This has been a full afternoon. Canary King, Intergalactic Wrangler, you guys are the best. Those of you who are watching, don't get jealous. You're also the best. Keep Patricia in your prayers. She's been battling the flu, and I spoke with her last night, and she's improving. Possibly after this live stream, I'll see if I can reach her and speak with her and see how she's doing. So pray for her. Let show her some love in the comment section, in the chats. She's such a dear member of the audience and now a dear member of the panel. And after live streaming with her for 2 weeks now, it feels empty without her on the live stream. So just let her know that she's in your thoughts and that you're praying for her. Okay. Intergalactic Wrangler says, get the story out, then talk about it. Awesome. Okay. So Intergalactic Wrangler agrees. All right. So let's do this together. Thank you so much, guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. And he also says to Patricia, get well, Patricia. So Patricia, we're going to be let's see. All right. Where I'm gonna screenshot this and I'm gonna send it to Patricia. I'm gonna send it to Patricia. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. You guys are amazing. Thank you for humoring me, okay? Because I had to talk about the channel. I don't even think I went as deep as I thought I would, because you guys made the conversation easy and we were able to level off from saying, oh, YouTube is trying to destroy the channel, and we went off to, okay, here's what we can do. And that's a beautiful thing to see. All right, so I do appreciate you guys. You guys have essentially made my day. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the video, share the video, give it a thumbs up to let YouTube know that you enjoyed it and more people should enjoy it. And don't forget to come back tonight for the 8 p.m. Segment. We're going to be doing what we agreed to do today. We're going to have the two-parter. The first part is where we get the story out. Second part is where we, do the engagement. And I'm excited for it. And I hope you'll be joining us for the show tonight. Thank you all so much for being a part of today's episodes. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye and God bless.